Hi, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic of conversation is virtual hiring events and what are the chances of you actually getting hired at them. With that said, I just want to say a quick thank you for those of you who like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I deeply appreciate your kind support. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have an ever-growing playlist with career tips and advice, so make sure you check that out. So today's session is really more of a career counseling session, so just letting you know up front. I want to focus on virtual hiring events from the recruiter's perspective, what we're actually looking for. And I am an actual recruiter, boots on the ground, day in and day out. I am a contractor, and I think you could benefit tremendously from this video. So the three things that I'm looking for you to do and engage me is: one, is how you behave in the chat. Two, are you going to send me an updated resume? And then three, follow up with that recruiter. Now, what is the answer? Are you really going to get hired at a virtual event? Probably not. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but I'm just getting a little tired of people promising, candidates, especially in such a difficult economic situation that we're in. And I know there's 30 million plus people who are unemployed, and I think there's a lot of, how shall I put it nicely, a lot of promises out there about virtual events. Unless you're in an industry, say for example, when I was recruiting in transportation, for one company I worked several years ago, I was hiring 15 drivers per week. That's not the typical hiring that I would do for, say, a software engineer or administrative type person. For one requisition, I have one opening, right? So I may get 300, sometimes 600 applicants on one requisition, but only one person gets the job. So you can do the math. So I want you to be early to that virtual event. I want you to be sitting in that lobby, as they say. I want you to be there early because I actually sign on very early. I want to make sure my systems are working properly. Sometimes I've been literally thrown out, so I'm starting to gear up like 10-15 minutes prior to the event. So if you're there early and you're just the first person and engaging me in a conversation, that's awesome. I really like to see that. What'll happen is if you don't do that, you're going to get bogged down and people are going to just be waiting and waiting. And a lot of times, especially large companies, will have at least 4 recruiters at one of those virtual events. So I want you to have a elevator pitch ready to go, meaning that you've already typed it out. Who you are, what you're looking for, just very short and sweet and to the point. Are you willing to relocate? Especially nowadays when, again, the market is very tight. I would say be open to that. And if you're not, make sure you let us know that. So the other thing is, if we don't have a job opening for you, and of course, I would hope that you've done your due diligence. This is a company that you like and you want to work for, and you see that, hey, there's nothing that fits my background, skill, or career goals or anything like that. There's literally not a job open for me. Then still engage me. Ask me, what are the possibilities of some future opening? I may or may not have that information, and then get my information. That's sort of like the networking backdoor to you being able to engage the company again in a more meaningful way, because now you have somebody at the company. And say you're in California and you want to relocate to Florida. Great, now you already have my contact information. And if you see something in that other state that you would want to move to, then, email me, call me, however you need to get this done, and say, hey, do you remember me? I attended that hiring event and I'm interested in this particular position in Florida. Can you please help me and give me the contact information to the recruiter who's actually managing that requisition? Typically, I will say, absolutely. Have you applied? Make sure you're applying. That way, you're already in the system and we can manage that piece a lot easier for you. But if you haven't, that's still okay. And just say, no, actually I haven't. Sometimes people even ask, do you know anything about that requisition or where it's at in the process? Am I a little bit too late? Because I will tell you, timing is everything in getting hired. So I'll get you that recruiter's information so that you have already that connection pre-built. I actually like to, as a courtesy, say, hey, so-and-so, I have this candidate who I engaged with at a particular career fair. These are his skill set. I think he'd be really great for this position. And I actually will do that as a courtesy. I'm very invested in my candidates, and to me, I'm a very service-oriented person, so I'm happy to do that for you. The other thing is that I want to caution you is make sure you're being really professional. Slang and all this other stuff, just because I know you're trying to be friendly, and I get some people They get a little bit too comfortable, a little bit too at ease, and that's really not the time to behave in such a manner. Please make sure you're engaging us in a professional manner, because that first impression is going to be long lasting. And so if you call me back and say, hey, I saw that, that job in Florida, and I say, oh, how's that going to person behave during an interview process? So they're just going to talk a lot of slang or just be disrespectful, or I know a lot of people are very stressed out, and I completely understand that. So please make sure you're checking your tone, how you're coming across to that person. And even though I may not have a job opening for you, once you get my information, send me that resume, because I will look at it. And if I actually don't have a job opening, perhaps I know of somebody from my team that may be back east or wherever, and say, hey, I know you said Florida might be good, but I know there's something in Virginia Beach. Would you be willing to entertain Virginia Beach as opposed to Florida? And there's an upcoming position. And so this isn't just A to B. And I think virtual career fairs, people just expect to go there and get a job. And a lot of, oh, it's a pet peeve of mine, these false promises that these career jobs, you're going to get a job immediately. That is true in certain industries. It is not true for software engineering necessarily, or for, highly skilled positions, like high-level management, those types of roles. Those are more difficult, and they take a longer process to hire than, say, a bus driver. And there's nothing wrong with being a bus driver. I'm saying that's just the way it is. I do hope that you found this helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and have a lovely rest of your day.